What's up, everyone? You're watching The End, the people, places, and things that affect your world and our society, and this is The End. It's our in-depth show where we talk about an issue and go in-depth about the issue. In case you do not know, and I don't know why you wouldn't know yet, this is our Chief Political Analyst herself, Stephanie Still, y'all. She has joined us for this edition of The End. This is our, what did we do last episode? This is our sweep, our global sweep on issues around the world. So we're going to move from one end to the other. And yeah,
well, not quite literally. We'll be right in this room.
But our hands sweep. Let's do it again. Sweep across.
A strategic
sweep. Strategery, in the words of President Bush. Shout out to you. We're gonna start with North Korea. Last time I talked about North Korea on the show, I was talking about a boat. Now, saying there was a boat from North Korea, possibly going to Myanmar. Kind of meandering, sweeping towards Myanmar. Think it might have had missiles, and we were kind of unsure of where that was going. So I brought my Chief Political Analyst to come in to kind of explain to us what that means for us in the United States and what exactly happened with that boat, or do we even know?
Yeah, actually, as early as this morning when I looked at the New York Times, they have an article already there, Myanmar and their relations with the United States. The point is they're not really cooperating, so I'm not sure exactly what is going on with that boat. Some believe that the boat was carrying missiles that could possibly be used to target Hawaii. So it's kind of important. It's really important, but without Myanmar really communicating the ins and outs of what's going on with that, it's very hard to tell. So.
All right. And so then our next issue is North Korea itself. What does North Korea have to do with me?
Well, North Korea is a very interesting case. You have a country that is, separate from a very thriving South Korea. Anytime you hear any news about North Korea, it's about bombs and missiles. And just as recently as the last few days, they have launched 7 missiles. And this is a recurring issue, as I said. This is not the first time they've done this. They did it a couple years ago. I think they did it last year as well, where they launched these missiles right over South Korea into the Sea of Japan, which is a very big threat to South Korea and Japan. So they're up in arms. This really gets a reaction out of them, but I think this is what North Korea wants, a reaction. Anytime there are things taking place in the international arena that North Korea is not a part of, North Korea, I feel like they're raising their hand saying, hey, I'm here, let me throw some bombs so you guys remember that I'm here. And so it's very interesting, and there's also a shift of power that may be taking place. Kim Jong-il is getting old. There are talks that his son may be taking over for him. And this is deep because he's sending his son across the seas to speak with other countries as if he's the head of state. And so he's representing his country already in talks with other nations, and it's kind of interesting. And maybe I shouldn't say other nations as in plural, but he's been in talks with other countries. And so he's already kind of molding up his son to take over the reins for him, which is very interesting.
Like a mini Secretary of State.
Mini Secretary.
Just going around spreading goodwill.
It's putting the training wheels on a bike for his son, I honestly believe. And now he's trying to move those training wheels off to put him in a position where he will eventually take over the place of Kim Jong-il.
Right. And so there you have just kind of a brief analysis of what's going on in North Korea. Again, we at The End will keep you posted on developments that happen in the region and in that area. And if anything does happen, we always, have our hearts and thoughts and our prayers with Hawaii, and that it'll be protected. Of course, that missile defense system is still in place in that region, and we'll monitor the situation as we go.